Hey, how you doing there? Henry Olsen here from Super Simple Guitar, and welcome to another guitar lesson. Today I've got my slide out, probably for the first time on this channel, and I'm going to be telling you guys about playing with the slide, a couple of basic tips about playing with the slide, and I'm also going to be teaching you this really cool Eric Johnson tune that Eric Clapton also did and inspired me to do, okay? So we're going to be tuning to open G for this lesson, and you're also going to need a slide, okay? So normally for the electric guitar, what you want is a glass slide, and for the acoustic guitar, you want a steel slide, right? But it would work if you have a steel one on the electric and vice versa, but that's typically kind of like the rule, okay? If there is a rule, that's the rule. And I got that from Eric Clapton. So anyways, let's get into the close-up now. Before we do, you guys know the drill. Download the free picture chord book PDF if you want to learn all the chords and master the whole fretboard and all that good stuff. And also, if you become an All Access member at Super Simple Guitar, I will ship a physical copy of that book straight to your doorstep. You guys who are members, I might get a tab made, I might not, depending on you guys. Comment, tell me if you want a tab, if you need a tab. But basically, this lesson is going to be built to teach you how to, come up with cool bluesy ideas using a slide. It's not really written in stone. But again, if you guys need a little bit of extra stuff, let me know and I'll have a tab made. We're going to have the tab guy make a tab if you want that. Alright, let's get into the close-up now. Let's check out this really cool slide guitar thing. Alright, see you there. Alrighty, welcome to the close-up. So let's get right into it. So first of all, let's talk about the tuning. So open G tuning, you tune this way. So the E string goes down to D, the A string goes down to G, the D stays where it is, the G stays where it is, the B stays where it is, and the E goes down to D. So both E's go down to D, and the A goes down to G. All right, and that's it. That's all you really need to remember. So the first and the sixth string both go down to D, the fifth string goes down to G. All right, that's open G tuning, and we use open G tuning because now I can strum all the strings and I'm getting a G. If I go over here to the 5th fret, I'm getting a C. 7th fret is a D. So that's very practical when you're using a slide. Because now you can have this, the slide is basically creating that bar for you, right? You don't need to use your finger to bar anymore. You can now use the slide. Where in open tuning, that wouldn't work because of the B string, right? So that's the first thing you need to do. That's why normally when you see people using a slide, they tune the guitar to a different tuning, because now you have these open or these bar positions that you can access, okay? So that's step one. Step two is one thing that is important to talk about, and that is your guitar. So it would be good to have a little bit of higher action on your guitar when playing with the slide. My telly here is extremely low. It has extremely low setup. So that's not perfect. I don't get the perfect sound. I get more buzzing than I would get if I were to have higher action. But I don't play slide that much, and that's why the telly still is going to continue to have low action. But if you really want to have an easy time playing slide, get your guitar set up a little bit higher, or have like a second guitar that's always set up a little bit higher for slide. Okay, that's the second thing. Third thing is to get a note or a chord out when you're playing with the slide. You want to have the slide directly over the fret itself, right? You don't want to have it somewhere in the middle here. You want to really be parallel, as straight as possible, with the actual fret. Okay? I hope you can see that. Okay, so that's really important, because that's when you're going to be in tune. If you're in the middle between two frets, the same as you do with your finger, you're going to be somewhere in between. Okay? So very important with the slide, you want to be directly on the fret. Okay? Last little tip and this is one that I'm still getting used to, I'm not a master slide player or anything, is that when you're coming down on the fret with the slide, you want to have one of your fingers, I like to use my first finger, quieting the strings behind the slide, okay? So my first finger is kind of just gently touching the strings, keeping them quiet so that the slide can do its work in peace, okay? And that takes time to get used to. That's something that I still haven't mastered. Some people use more fingers. I like to just use my first finger and the slide, okay? I put the slide on my pinky. You'll have people put it on the ring finger. You'll have people sometimes on the middle finger. But I normally tend to just put it on my pinky, okay? So those are the basic things. And now let me get into exactly what I was playing there and get into the actual lesson, okay? So now we covered the basics. I'm using the telly, bridge position. My tone knob is turned back slightly so it's not too bright because this telly is super bright. And it goes like this. So what I'm doing now to start this thing off, this main little riff. So let me play it for you first. So the main little riff goes like this. Okay, so down, up, down, wait, let me think. So it's down, up, slide, up, slide, up. And the slide is happening from the 2nd to the 3rd fret. So it's this nice... down, up, slide, up, slide, up. Down, up, slide, up, slide, up. And every time I do that slide, it's a downstroke. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And I'm aiming for the 5th, 4th, and 3rd string. Okay, you could hit the 2nd string as well, but those are the ones that I'm going for. Okay, so the 5th, 4th, and 3rd. Okay, so on the upstroke, we're kind of going more for the 3rd and 4th. And on the downstroke, we're going more for these lower notes, so the 5th string, okay? So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And with my first finger, I'm also kind of trying to keep this, what's happening behind the slide, quiet. But since there's not a lot of space, it's not easy, you know? That's something you're just going to have to practice. So that's kind of the main thing that happens, right? That's the first thing you're going to want to kind of get into your system. And then that's over the 1 chord. So if you're playing a blues, you have the 1, the 4, and the 5, right? Those are the, the key, the chords inside of the key, right? The 1, the 4, the 5. In our case, that's the G, the C, and the D, right? Our G is the 1 chord, our C is the 4 chord, our D is the 5 chord. So this is all happening over the 1 chord. I think I do that about 8 times. And then we're going to slide into the 5th fret, which is our 4 chord, which is the C, right? And then here we're just going to do this. So that's just C, 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 C. And then I'm doing this little slide in to the C 2 times. Kind of from the 3rd to the 5th fret, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Like you just slide in. What really matters is where you end it, okay? So you have to end it here on the 5th fret. So that's da 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 da. Okay, so down, 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 slide in, slide in. Okay, so let me put the whole thing into context for you now. And again, this is something you're going to want to experiment with, you know, use your ears to do this, okay? So let me play the whole thing. So okay, so bum, 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 bum. Now we're going to play open, slide in, open, slide in, back to the main riff. So So the second part, after the C, after that bum, 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 it's open, slide in, open, slide in, back to the main riff. So I'm going to play the whole thing for you again in context, so it's all in context. So we're going to start from the beginning. Into the 5th fret. Back into this main thing. Repeat. Now for the 5th chord, we're going into the 7th fret, which is the D. D, 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 D. Back to the C. 2 times. And then back to that. Let me slow it down for you. That's the whole thing. And now I've given you kind of, like one possibility that works, but there's a million things. I've literally been improvising for an hour before I made this lesson, before I turned on the camera. So now that you know where these pieces are, play around with sliding in here, doing some cool little riff here. Now you have the pieces, play the blues with it, okay? So let me just kind of demonstrate how I would kind of improvise, So So now instead of going bum 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 bum, I was going. Totally improvised, okay? One other cool thing that you can do is, since this is an open G, on the 12th fret you have a G2. Okay? So you could go. That was totally improvised again, okay? So that's what I encourage you to do. Now you have this basic thing to play with. And try to build on it. That didn't really make sense. But this is how I, develop musical ideas, and that's what I want to encourage you, my friend, to do. Don't play like a robot, experiment. All right. I hope that this made sense. I hope that this gets your wheels rolling when it comes to playing with the slide. And I hope that you're able to get creative with this. All right. Hope you liked the lesson. Let me know. See you later. Thanks for checking out this lesson. I really, really hope that it helped you. I hope you learned something. Leave me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. And I'll see you very soon with another lesson. All right. Henry Olson here. Have a great day. Bye-bye.